Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Newshour, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 1 hour. Israel approves moves to expand its powers in occupied West Bank. UN, the US and the UK call on Israel to reverse its unlawful decision. Prime Minister Modi and Mauritius Prime Minister Naveen Chandra Ramagulam hold telephonic conversation. Both the leaders review progress in wide-ranging bilateral cooperation and reaffirmed India-Mauritius commitment to peace and stability in the Indian Ocean region. Landmark social media trial begins in Los Angeles to test whether big tech platforms can be held liable for their app design to addict children. In ICC Men's T20 World Cup, Pakistan ends boycott, confirms match against India that will go on February 15th. Israel has approved plans to help settlers acquire land in the West Bank and widen its powers in parts of the territory where Palestinians have some self-rule. It was announced by Israel's Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich and Defense Minister Israel Katz after being approved by the Security Cabinet. It was unclear when the new rules would take effect, but they do not require further approval. The West Bank, which Israel has occupied since 1967, would form the largest part of any future Palestinian state.
Jordanian law, which has been on the books since before 1967, but has been strengthened since 1967, prohibits the sale of any land to Jews, which is something very discriminatory by any standard in any society.
The Israeli measures also envisage transferring authority over building permits for settlements in the Palestinian city of Hebron, the West Bank's largest, from the Palestinian Authority to Israel. In addition, the reform strengthens Israeli control over the two major religious sites in the southern West Bank, Rashal's tomb near Bethlehem and the Cave of the Patriarchs in Hebron.
Well, it's been repealed for years in the rest of the West Bank, but only with respect to the Jewish part of Hebron, which is a tiny percentage. It didn't repeal the law. The law still exists. Israel has not got sovereign powers to repeal Jordanian law, but in the areas under Israel's control and administration, it can repeal the implementation of Jordanian law, which is considered to be offensive, anti-Semitic and anti-Israel.
International outrage is growing at Israeli plans to tighten the country's grip over West Bank. UN spokesperson Stephen Dujarric said that UN Chief Guterres warned that the current trajectory on the ground is eroding the prospect for the two-state solution.
Such actions, including Israel's continuing presence in the occupied Palestinian territory, are not only destabilizing, but, as recalled by the International Court of Justice, unlawful. The Secretary General calls on Israel to reverse these measures and all parties to preserve the only path to lasting peace, which is a negotiated settlement for a two-state solution in line with relevant Security Council resolutions and international law.
United States is the latest country to call on Israel to reverse its decision to expand control over the West Bank. A White House official reiterated U.S. President Donald Trump's opposition towards Israel and its plans for the West Bank. Officials said that a stable West Bank keeps Israel secure and is in line with this administration's goal to achieve peace in the region. United Kingdom and Spain also joined the rising chorus of condemnation. UK said that any unilateral attempt to alter the geographic or demographic make of Palestine is wholly unacceptable and would be inconsistent with the international law. Last year, the United Kingdom announced it was imposing additional sanctions on illegal Israeli settler outposts in the occupied West Bank. Earlier, Saudi Arabia, Jordan and the United Arab Emirates-led regional states denounced the decisions as a violation of international law that would undermine the vision of a two-state solution as well as stability in the region. They said the moves meant to entrench Israeli settlements of the West Bank, displacing Palestinians and imposing unlawful Israeli sovereignty there. Jordan, Egypt, the United Arab Emirates and Turkey all have diplomatic relations with Israel. Saudi Arabia has said that it will not establish such relations until the formation of a Palestinian state. Meanwhile, dozens of Palestinians returned to the southern Gaza city of Khan Yunis on Tuesday after spending months in Egypt, separated from their families. Most had travelled to Egypt for medical treatment and were able to come home after the Rafah border crossing between Egypt and Gaza partially reopened. Rafah is the only crossing for nearly all of Gaza's more than 2 million residents. Its limited reopening last week marked a key step in a US-backed initiative announced by President Donald Trump aimed at ending the Israel-Hamas conflict. Our correspondent Akshay Dongre joins us to get us more on this. Akshay, we've given a detailed report with regard to the latest development, but how do we understand it? Help us understand the significance of this development and also how do we expect the days ahead to pan out?
Well, it's going to be a complicated trial, Preeti, especially given the fact that even the Department of Justice of the U.S. government refuses to give out the names of the people who have been involved in pedophilia, in child trafficking, in even rapes and possibly murders of children there on the Epstein Island, as the files have suggested so far. But the situation remains complicated also because Jeffrey Epstein is dead. Ghislaine Maxwell has invoked her Fifth Amendment rights to stay silent and not self-incriminate or give or speak anything about the Epstein files and the people who were involved in it. But also because the names are already there with the Department of Justice as far as the people who are involved in these scandals are concerned. They have their mails. However, how strong of an evidence will mails be considered in a court of law? That is a big question. However, there are names, there are travel records and other kind of information that the Department of Justice refused to work on at a level that was desired initially. So the complications obviously remain there in the sort of trial that's going on. But with the biggest person involved and the biggest proof being Ghislaine Maxwell herself, she is refusing to speak on anything regarding Epstein file unless she is granted clemency on this. Is clearly blackmailing the justice system. Also, there isn't enough pressure from the government or from the people's side as well for the government to act, because if the Department of Justice, the FBI, they already have the names, why the names are being redacted, even in the cases where murders are being mentioned in these files. So it remains, people will have to talk to their representative, question their representatives that what are they doing as far as such a large-scale scandal that has tarnished not only the reputation of the people involved, but the entire country.
All right, Akshay, we leave it here. Thank you so much for joining in with those details. A social media trial in Los Angeles began on Monday with accusations that Meta platforms and YouTube knowingly designed their apps to be addictive for children. A lawyer for a 20-year-old woman identified as Kaylee GM told jurors that she became hooked on social media at a young age due to deliberate product design choices. Kaylee is suing Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, and Google, which owns YouTube. Her lawyer, Mark Lanier, argued that internal company documents reveal the firms intentionally built systems meant to exploit young developing brains. Both Meta and YouTube have denied the claims. A verdict against the companies could pave the way for similar lawsuits and weaken big tech's long-standing legal defenses. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg is expected to testify, and the trial may continue into March. Concerns over children's online safety have also put gaming platform Roblox under scrutiny in Australia, with authorities seeking clarity on its safeguards. The country's communications minister has written to Roblox, urging its leadership to explain what steps are being taken to protect children on the platform. Roblox has long faced criticism over exposure to violent and sexual content, with under 13 users making up to 40% of its user base. The company has said it plans to introduce facial recognition or ID checks for chat access, while Roblox is exempt from Australia's under-16 social media ban. It has been banned in countries such as Qatar and Iraq and has faced legal action in US states including Texas and Louisiana over child safety concerns. You're watching DD India Newshour. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, Bangladesh enters pre-poll silence as campaigning ends amid tight security. Cuba warns airlines of jet fuel shortage and flight disruptions as US sanctions deepen energy crisis. Largest simultaneous floating event held in Argentina. Stay with us for a quick sneak peek.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Hello. Johar.
It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout हो गया.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India Newshour. US President Donald Trump on Monday threatened to stop the opening of a new bridge between United States and Canada in his latest salvo against Canada over trade issues. Trump said the United States should own at least half of the still under construction Gordie Howe International Bridge that links the Canadian province of Ontario with the US state of Michigan. Trump criticized Canada for owning both sides of the bridge and using almost no US products in its construction. He also warned that a trade deal with China could hurt Canada and leave the United States with nothing. Work on the $4.7 billion bridge, named after the late Canadian-born National Hockey League legend Gordie Howe, began in 2018 and is scheduled to open later this year. Trump has clashed with Canada over trade since returning to office in January 2025. Armenia and the United States signed an agreement to develop cooperation in the civilian nuclear sector. In fact, the deal includes $5 billion in the initial U.S. exports and additional $4 billion in fuel supply and maintenance. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance announces a drone technology sale to Armenia worth $11 million after meeting with Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan in Yerevan. During a joint press conference, Vance said that the very best way to ensure that you have peace is to establish real deterrence. Vance is visiting Armenia and Azerbaijan this week to push a Washington-brokered peace agreement that could transform energy and trade routes in the strategic South Caucasus region. His two-day trip to Armenia comes just 6 months after the Armenian and Azerbaijani leaders signed an agreement at the White House, seen as the first step towards peace after nearly 40 years of war. Venezuela Nobel Peace Laureate Maria Corina Machado on Monday stated that armed government agents had kidnapped a close ally, Juan Pablo Guanepa, hours after he was released from prison and demanded democratic elections. The public prosecutor's office later confirmed that he had been detained for violating the terms of his release and would be placed under house arrest. The former National Assembly vice president had walked out of jail on Sunday as part of a slow-moving wave of political prisoner releases. Venezuelan leader and Interior Minister Diosdado Cabello defended the rearrest of opposition politician Juan Pablo Guanepa, saying that he violated the conditions of his release just hours after being freed from prison.
897 people have been released. 897 and nothing had happened. They left and met with their families until they illustrated stupidity of some politicians who believe they can do whatever they want and disrupt the country, violating the very condition under which they were given freedom. So now there are not 897 but 896 because one person was detained again for violating the conditions under which they were released.
Nuevamente por violar las condiciones sobre las cuales.
However, Guanepo's son, Ramon Guanepa, described the incident as a kidnapping, saying his father was seized by armed men in civilian clothes just hours after his prison release. Before being detained, Guanepa had celebrated with supporters in a plaza and participated in a motorcycle caravan calling for the release of other political prisoners on Sunday. The US military on Monday said that it launched a strike on a vessel in the Eastern Pacific, killing 2 people and leaving 1 survivor, the latest such incident. Video from the US Southern Command showed a boat moving in the water before it was hit, followed by a flash of light and an explosion. In a post on social media platform X, the military said the vessel was engaged in narco-trafficking operations. President Trump's administration has touted its success in recent weeks at taking out suspected drug trafficking vessels. Campaigning for Bangladesh's 13th Jatiya Sansad or the National Parliament election and the accompanying referendum ends at 7 AM IST today in the morning. That has happened, ushering in the mandatory 48-hour silence period ahead of voting on 12th of February. The final phase comes amid tightening restrictions, heightened security and fresh survey projections. A public opinion survey forecasts a decisive lead for the BNP-led alliance until 14th February. Around 900,000 personnel will be deployed and 1,051 executive magistrates assigned to run the mobile courts. Our correspondent Naval Sangh Parmar joins us with more on that. Naval Sangh, we tell our viewers that the 48-hour silence period is currently in existence in Bangladesh. Get us more. How do we expect the political process to pan out? What is expected ahead?
Since today morning, 7 a.m., according to IST, the silence period for the 48 hours before the voting starts on Thursday, around 7:30 a.m. Of the local time, being observed, and the political now campaigning stopped, but the political maneuvering and the kind of people-to-people context in local area being carried out, and as some poll predict a clear win for the BNP, and there were earlier threats from the opponents that if anything any irregularity happens during the polling, then people will face the hit and your place will be on hospital. Means kind of threatening is happening, and there is a history in Bangladesh that the elections are witnessed with the violence, and this time there is a fear looming large as the minorities and women and those who having inclination toward the Awami League party are at threat, and there is a neck-to-neck fight between BNP, Bangladesh Nationalist Party, and Jamaat-e-Islami, Islamist Party bloc to corner the Awami League votes. And due to that, those who are having inclinations toward or traditionally Awami League voter, they are at a threat, and they feel threatening from local leaders also. So the kind of fear and is persisting among the general people, though there is a tight deployment of security forces, including army. But still, there is a fear of violence among the people.
All right, Naval Singh, also when we talk of the absence of Awami League, how is it likely to affect the electoral process? What could be the permutations and combinations in the political landscape?
Well, there are two major political parties. One is Awami League and second one is Bangladesh Nationalist Party. And in the absence of Awami League, around 35% votes of Awami League supporters are there. And some of them join BNP, and there are some are running independents, but the major almost all the political leaders of district level are either in jail or they are in exile. So there is no clear direction from the top level leadership of Awami League towards the voting, either in favor of BNP or any other political party. In that scenario, the Awami League voters are taking decision based on their local compulsion as well as their local preferences. So no party level direction for the Awami League supporters. Because in that scenario, there is a fight between the BNP and Jamaat-e-Islami, and most probably the Awami League voters will vote for the BNP, as there is as Jamaat-e-Islami have a fundamentalist ideology, and they have, during campaign also they have made such comments and they have a past. So Awami League voters may give, either they will abstain from vote or they will support BNP. In some cases, they may support Jamaat-e-Islamists also. But according to the local surveys, as you mentioned in your report, it is forecasted that the BNP may have a clear majority in the upcoming parliament result.
All right, Naval Sangh, we leave it here. The polls will be held on Thursday, February 12th. Thank you for joining in. Let's turn focus to Cuba now. Cuba on Monday warned international airlines that jet fuel supplies on the island will run out starting Tuesday, highlighting rapidly worsening conditions as the United States tightens efforts to cut off Cuba's oil access. A notice to airmen said that the shortage would last from February 10th to March 11th, contradicting assurances given by officials only days earlier that air travel would not be affected by fuel rationing. Cuba has long depended on Venezuela for much of its aviation fuel, but no crude or refined products have arrived since mid-December after Washington moved to block Venezuelan exports. President Trump has since vowed to stop all Venezuelan oil shipments to Cuba and threatened tariffs on countries supplying fuel to the island. Similar shortages in the past have led airlines to refuel in nearby countries. Despite the warning, most flights to Havana were operating normally on Monday morning. Crowd in Alexandria, Virginia gathered on Monday to welcome Buddhist monks taking part in the cross-country Walk for Peace, an initiative promoting mindfulness, inner calm and global harmony. Led by Venerable Bhikkhu Panakara, the journey began in Fort Worth, Texas on October 26th and marked 106 days on the road by February 9th. Panakara told supporters the walk aims to spread awareness of peace rather than draw attention to the monks, noting that more than 100,000 peace bracelets have been shared since the journey began. The visit included community interactions, bracelet and flower distribution, a guided meditation and praise from Alexandria Mayor Alia Gaskins. Panakara warned of growing global anger and suffering, citing the pandemic as an example. The walk will culminate with a peace event at Lincoln Memorial before ending in Annapolis, Maryland. We now take a look at other stories making it to the headlines from across the world. In Argentina, pizza makers marked International Pizza Day with a charity event near Buenos Aires' iconic obelisk. Organized by the Argentine Association of Pizzerias and Empanada Houses, chefs prepared 5,000 pizza slices on site to raise funds for a local youth organization. The event also featured prize giveaways, including free pizzas, drawing large crowd. In Argentina, 1,837 people gathered at Lake Mar Chiquitata in the resort town of Miramar on 8th February to attempt a Guinness World Record for the largest simultaneous floating event. Participants said the lake's salty water makes floating easier. The current record remains with Epiquin Lagoon, which in fact hosted 1,941 floaters. In Denmark, participants in Copenhagen joined illuminated runs through the city as part of the annual Light Festival on 8th of February. Many runners wore strings of lights while passing large-scale installations and artworks brightening the winter streets. The festival, which opened on 30th of January, features around 45 artworks, tours and events with displays remaining until 22nd of February. You're watching DD India News. Are waiting for a short break, but after the break, India commences first BRICS Sherpa meeting in New Delhi, sets people-centric humanity-first agenda. We will tell you how artificial intelligence is transforming public governance, boosting efficiency, responsiveness and accountability. National Deworming Day today, safeguarding children's health and growth across the country. Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News. A quick relook at the top stories now. Israel approves move to expand its powers in occupied West Bank. UN, the US and the UK call on Israel to reverse its unlawful decision. Prime Minister Modi and Mauritius Prime Minister Naveen Chandra Ramagulam held telephonic conversation. Both the leaders reviewed progress in wide-ranging bilateral cooperation and reaffirmed India-Mauritius commitment to peace and stability in the Indian Ocean region. Landmark social media trial begins in Los Angeles to test whether big tech platforms can be held liable for their app designed to addict children. In ICC T20 World Cup, Pakistan ends boycott, confirms match against India on February 15th. The first BRICS Sherpa meeting commenced on Monday in New Delhi. Secretary Economic Relations and India's BRICS Sherpa, Sudhakar Dalela, highlighted India's priorities of its chairmanship based on Prime Minister's vision for people-centric and humanity-first approach for the BRICS. He stressed that the priorities are also based on the overall theme of building for resilience, innovation, cooperation and sustainability. BRICS Sherpas are a select group of leaders representing their countries within the BRICS bloc. The role of a Sherpa is that of being the main channel for communication among the BRICS nations. BRICS brings together 11 major emerging markets and developing countries of the world: Brazil, China, Egypt, Ethiopia, India, Indonesia, Iran, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, United Arab Emirates. It serves as a useful platform for consultation and cooperation on contemporary issues having global as well as regional significance, and also issues of global political and economic governance. India plans to maintain multiple sources of energy supply and diversify them when needed. Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri made this clear while replying to a question during a press conference on Monday. He said that India believes in safeguarding the interests of its consumers through reliable suppliers.
Key drivers of our energy policy are adequate availability, fair pricing, and reliability of supply. So if you look at the data, and I'm sure you're looking at the data on a constant basis, you will see that we import crude oil from dozens of countries. We are neither dependent on any single source for this, nor do we intend to be. And it is natural for the mix of sources to vary from time to time, depending on objective market conditions. What I can firmly and confidently say that whether it is the government or indeed our business, at the end of the day, national interests will be the guiding factor for us in our choices.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke with his Mauritian counterpart, Dr. Naveen Chandra Ramagulam. Taking to social media platform X, Prime Minister posted, and I quote him, "Happy to receive a phone call from my friend Prime Minister Dr. Naveen Chandra Ramagulam. We reviewed progress in the wide-ranging cooperation between India and Mauritius since our memorable meeting in Varanasi last year. reaffirmed our commitment to further strengthen the special, historic and people-centric ties that unite our two nations. India and Mauritius will continue to work together to achieve shared objectives of peace and stability in the Indian Ocean region. I look forward to welcoming him to India for the AI Impact Summit next week. Artificial intelligence is rapidly reshaping public governance, offering unprecedented opportunities to enhance productivity and responsiveness and accountability. DD India's Tripti Tripathi gets us more on this report.
Artificial intelligence is rapidly reshaping governance in India, marking a shift from reactive administration to predictive and citizen-centric public service delivery. Under initiatives like Digital India and the National AI Mission, India is using AI to analyze vast public data sets and improve policy implementation across sectors. According to government estimates, India's digital public infrastructure today supports over 1.3 billion Aadhaar identities, 300 crore plus digital payments every month, and millions of real-time service transactions, creating the foundation for AI-driven governance.
The use of artificial intelligence for governance would be very useful because of the multilingual support afforded by AI, and also from the perspective that it need not be written but could also be voice-based, which enhances the ability to reach more citizens for their redressal mechanisms.
Urban governance is witnessing a major AI impact. AI-driven traffic management systems in smart cities have helped reduce congestion and improve response times. Law enforcement and urban governance are also seeing transformation. Predictive analytics supports crime prevention, traffic management and disaster response in smart cities. AI-driven tools assist in identifying tax evasions, monitoring welfare schemes and plugging leakages in public spending. The judiciary is adopting AI for case classification, translation across Indian languages and legal research, supporting faster disposal of cases in courts handling over 5 crore pending cases nationwide. Meanwhile, chatbots and grievance redressal systems are enabling 24/7 citizen engagements, making governance more responsive and inclusive.
It can identify where service delivery is weakening, where resources are leaking, where infrastructure is underused or overloaded, and where citizen needs are shifting, district by district, even ward by ward. And that's where governance starts moving from reactive to predictive.
AI can detect irregularities in welfare, improve targeting precision, forecast demand in healthcare systems, and optimize infrastructure planning. But more importantly, it reshapes how trust is built between institutions and citizens.
As India positions itself as a global digital leader, AI in governance is not about replacing human judgment, but augmenting it. In a democracy of 1 billion people, artificial intelligence is emerging as a force multiplier, delivering smarter policies, efficient administration, and smarter outlook for the people. With camera person Lalit, Tripti Tripathi, DD India, Delhi.
National Deworming Day is observed on 10th of February each year. It is a major public health initiative aimed at protecting children from intestinal worm infections that can quietly harm their growth, nutrition and learning ability. In the report ahead, we share how it has evolved into a remarkable public health achievement. Take a look. National Deworming Day is one of India's largest public health campaigns focused on protecting children and adolescents from 1 to 19 years of age from intestinal worm infections. Spearheaded by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, the initiative delivers free deworming medication to millions of children through government and private schools, along with Anganwadi centers across the country. Soil-transmitted helminths are intestinal worms whose eggs contaminate soil through human feces. Children can get infected by playing barefoot, drinking unsafe water, or eating unwashed food. These parasites, roundworms, whipworms, and hookworms, live in the intestines and often cause no early symptoms, silently affecting a child's nutrition, energy, and overall health. On National Deworming Day, observed twice every year in February and August, trained teachers and health workers provide albendazole tablets to all the children in line with the World Health Organization's mass drug administration approach. This effort helps reduce worm infections, improve nutrition, enhance overall health, and support better growth. The first National Deworming Day was observed on 10th February 2015, initially covering 11 states and union territories. The program's rapid expansion shows coverage extending to millions of children across most Indian states. Over the years, it has become an important part of wider health strategies, contributing to goals like reducing anemia and improving nutrition under national programs such as Poshan Abhiyan. To prevent reinfection, children are encouraged to wash hands before meals and after using toilets, drink clean and safe water, eat properly cooked food, wash fruits and vegetables thoroughly, maintain personal hygiene. As one of the world's largest school-based health programs, National Deworming Day 2026 continues India's commitment to building a healthier and stronger future generation. After all, a healthier child today builds a stronger nation tomorrow. Preeti Kaur for DD India. And now let's turn focus to sports. We'll talk of cricket first. The Pakistan Cricket Board has taken a U-turn on its boycott of the February 15th T20 World Cup match against India in Colombo. The board and the ICC late on Monday night confirmed the same, saying the government of Pakistan has decided to end their boycott. The two neighbours were supposed to play their group stage match in Sri Lanka. However, Pakistan announced their decision to boycott the match in Colombo after the ICC last month replaced Bangladesh with Scotland in the tournament, following Bangladesh's refusal to travel to co-hosts India. Backdoor negotiations, calls and meetings followed, culminating in the ICC officials' arrival in Pakistan last weekend. The ICC and the Pakistan Cricket Board are understood to have initiated formal discussions on February 7th about the reversal of the boycott. This came a day after the Sri Lankan Cricket Board urged its Pakistani counterpart to reconsider its decision, citing significant financial losses for all parties involved. The latest meeting between the global body and the two South Asian boards resulted in an agreement to go ahead with the game as scheduled. Delhi's iconic Arun Jaitley Stadium is ready to host ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2026 matches. With the first game scheduled today between Netherlands and Namibia, preparations are complete and security arrangements have been tightened at the venue. DD India's correspondent Narayan Singh gets us this exclusive report.
Delhi's iconic Arun Jaitley Stadium is all set to take centre stage as it prepares to host several matches of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2026. With the first game scheduled for February 10, excitement is building among the cricket fans, while authorities are leaving no stone unturned to ensure a smooth and secure tournament. A comprehensive three-layer security arrangement has been put in place at the venue, reflecting the scale and importance of the mega event.
सिक्योरिटी के लिए बीसीसीआई से भी गाइडलाइन बहुत हार्ड तरीके से आई है और आईसीसी की तरफ से तो है ही और बाकी दिल्ली के अंदर हमेशा से सिक्योरिटी जो होती है वो 3 लेयर सिक्योरिटी होती है और जो हमारी खुद तो हमने कोई 350 के करीब अपने गार्ड लिए हैं जो हर गेट के ऊपर होंगे.
Very excited to watch the matches in Arun Jaitley Stadium. We will learn something from our cricketers. Like my favorite cricketer is Abhishek Sharma, Tilak Verma and Surya Kumar Yadav.
The historic stadium will witness an action-packed schedule beginning with the clash between Netherlands and Namibia on February 10. The focus then shifts to the host as India take on Namibia on February 12, a match expected to draw a packed house. Other league encounters include Canada versus United Arab Emirates on February 13, Afghanistan versus UAE on February 16, and South Africa locking horns with UAE on February 18. The venue will also host a high-stakes Super 8 match on March 1, featuring teams from Group 1. Beyond security, preparations at the Arun Jaitley Stadium are in full swing, with attention on pitch readiness, player facilities, spectator comfort, and smooth entry and exit for fans. As the T20 World Cup 2026 rolls into the national capital, the Arun Jaitley Stadium opens its campaign with the opening match on the February 10. With the tournament already underway, Delhi is ready to welcome the global cricketing fraternity as the seamless planning, tight security and high voltage action put the iconic venue at the heart of the World Cup journey. With camera person Manoj, Narayan Singh, DD India, Delhi.
Up next, we get you an inclusive interaction. Coming up next, as Delhi is set to host India AI Impact Summit from 16th to 20th of February, apart from setting the agenda on the future of the artificial intelligence, it will also serve as a showcase for India's AI capabilities. Up next, we have an exclusive interaction of DD India's Gautam Roy with Shodh AI CEO Dr. Arastu Sharma, who's using the technology to come up with materials of the future which will give added impetus to India's self-reliance goals. Stay tuned. Take a look.
Hello and welcome. You're watching DD India and I'm Gautam Roy, and this is a special interaction because come the 16th of February until the 20th, the world's eyes will be focused on how India is taking its mission artificial intelligence forward with the AI Impact Summit, the first such event anywhere in the global south. It will cover all aspects of AI from tech to policy and industry to research. It's part of India's ambition to come up with AI solutions, governance structures to power not only its 1.4 billion strong population into the future, but also the entire world. Well, it's also caught up in the AI race, developing indigenous sovereign artificial intelligence from LLMs to niche models. But our guest today is about something totally different. Let's introduce him. We're joined by Dr. Arastu Sharma, CEO Shodh AI, which is using AI to design the materials which will power the future of India and the world. Welcome to DD India, Arastu, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Gautam.
First, tell us about what you're doing and what really necessitated it and what does it mean to the progress of India and the world?
Yeah, so in very short, there's a famous story of Edison where he was discovering the bulb. It took him 10,000 different bulbs to come to the right bulb that would actually shine. So that's how humans have always developed materials and things and all the things that our world runs on. Mm-hmm. So what we're trying to develop is the future where you don't need to do 10,000 experiments. You don't need to wait for decades to build a new material, a new battery. We need to be a civilization that is able to control all of our planet, that is able to go interplanetary. We need to go to Mars. We need to get out of the planet and control the planet itself. So how does that happen? We need an AI to which we can say that give me a battery that works in space. Give me a battery material that would survive in front of sun. We need future quantum materials. We need future energy materials. And that's what we're trying to solve here. So if you have lithium ion problem in India and we're dependent on China, that's because we haven't had the experience of building that material for a very long time. If we could find alternatives of lithium in India, like sodium ion battery, you would not be dependent on China. If you could find alternatives of rare earth metals, we would not be dependent on those elements from China. How we can do that is now taking power with AI. We can use AI to build alternatives, and that too very, very fast. So we can do that in 6 months, and that's what we're trying to do that in India itself. And our model will be able to help scientists, industries, and even future startups to create patents in India, IPs of materials in India, and start a new revolution in India itself.
And how are you going about it? What sort of help are you getting from different institutions, from the government itself? In this, well, it sounds like pioneering work. Tell us if you have any competitors anywhere in the world, or is this work completely peerless? You have no other company or anybody in this particular field?
Yeah, so first of all, we are part of the 12 companies selected by India AI to build Indian foundational models. And we're working very closely with NVIDIA, with Google, and they're helping us build these models. To give you a perspective, the current AI race is about languages and code, and that's where all the world is there. And we always say that, okay, maybe India is lagging behind in that. But the race has just started. In the next 4 or 5 years, the race would be about AI for science. You'll have AI for pharma, biotech, and material science. So there is AI for pharma that has already started in US. There are companies that are working in China on biotech. And we want to be the leaders in material science and take India in a leading position and not catching up to other countries. So there are competitors that are coming up in China and US, but everyone's still at ground zero. So this is the time to start working on it.
And so what stage are you at yourself currently in terms of being able to design these new futuristic materials?
Yeah, so we've built our first foundational model that we'll be demoing at the India AI Summit. We've been given the opportunity by India AI to get a lot of GPUs working together. They've helped us in infrastructure development around it, and we'll be demoing our first product. within a few months, we will be partnering with a few Indian industries to develop the first sodium-ion batteries in the country.
All right, wonderful. Now, you already mentioned materials, but what are the other kind of key AI capabilities which India should be trying to develop or is in the race of developing? Because after all, it is being said to be an AI race that the world is caught up in right now.
Yes, good question. So, in a lot of policy discussions that we've been involved with the government as well, and also the meeting with the PM, I was always bullish on not just that we need to push for language models, but we need to go towards niche models. We need to go for AI for healthcare. We need to go for AI for pharma, drug discovery. We need biologics, new types of therapeutic solutions, gene editing. In all of these areas, which is sort of comprised within the AI for science, if India is able to invest in it at the right time, which is right now, in the next 4 or 5 years, we'll be one of the leading companies, having one of the best HR and now one of the best infra for AI development. We would be one of the leaders in the future.
Tell us a little bit more about that interaction that you had with the Prime Minister along with some other AI startup founders and people associated with such work. What was conveyed to you in terms of the PM's perspective, in terms of the use of AI, and also the fact that there is fear as well among a lot of people all over the world, not just in India. India is a hugely populous nation. So related to jobs, there is an apprehension as well.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it was a once in a lifetime opportunity for all of us to meet the Prime Minister. And as everyone says, I was shocked on his depth of understanding on this topic. And we had a long conversation. He had spent an hour and a half with us discussing on each of these projects. My motivation when I was interacting with him was to sort of transfer this vision on AI for science to him, wherein he himself said to me that it is, I always also say that currently all the AI use cases are around laziness and making things easier for people, but we need to move forward from language and go towards other areas of solutions where the impact of AI can actually be seen. He did mention about ethical AI and how his motivation and push has been towards that, and I really appreciated that. Yeah.
And what does a platform like the India AI Impact Summit mean to a startup like yours? Because of course it's a platform where you can showcase what you're doing, which you will be doing. But in other aspects of how AI is being developed, does it also mean exposure? Because not just the heads of government and state, last count is 15. 100 companies from all over the world will also be there. So it will be a huge learning opportunity too.
I mean, there's no question to that. With the India AI Summit, like India is putting itself as that on ground that we are there as well, and we are one of the leading countries in AI. As Ashwini Vaishnav had said at Davos, that we are not a lagging country, but we are one of the leading countries in AI itself. So the India AI Summit sort of puts us shoulder to shoulder to these giants. And being a startup and having a booth and being able to interact with people like Jensen Huang from NVIDIA, from Sundar Pichai, and all the leading figures of the world, and putting us equivalent to that is an opportunity that we could only get in India. And the level of support that the government is giving to us, and a one-to-one help, like I've never seen that happening anywhere else. And I think India AI Mission and the summit itself is the starting point of where India is going to be leading the world in the next 5 years.
Yeah. And what excites you most these days in terms of the kind of latest developments that are taking place in the AI space? Because a lot of people have been talking about Mold Book as well, and some people are amazed, some are amused, but there is a sense of alarm as well.
See, I take it as I've always been very positive about AI. I know a lot of people are scared. There's obviously this is one of the most changing technologies that have ever arrived on this planet and to humans. But if you become someone who can take advantage of AI rather than someone who's scared of it, you'd be 10 times better than anyone else. Surely, jobs will change. Surely everything is going to change. But as we've always seen, technologies bring more opportunity. There are different opportunities than before, and we have to adapt to it. We have to get more skilled, but people have to adapt it, and people have to become better at it by using it and not being scared from it. And there is going to be trillions and trillions of dollars of more opportunities that are being developed with AI and solutions that we can't even think of. Solving problems of healthcare, drugs, solving problems with material as we are working on. These are the places where we can actually solve genetic diseases, we can solve world hunger. That can only be done with AI now, and we should take advantage of it.
But developments like Moldbook, where agentic AI is talking to agentic AI, even complaining about their humans, and then trying to say that let's come up with a different language. Does that put you in the camp of we should regulate AI, or you remain in the camp which says that it should be completely unfettered and only self-regulation is the best kind of regulation there?
I'm on the second side. I believe in open technologies. I believe that stopping anything, first of all, you cannot stop anything. The world's best technologies are open source technologies. And one of the main advantages, if you see, of AI is that a person sitting in Silicon Valley has become equivalent to a person sitting in India. Like, we have the same type of knowledge now with help of AI. We can do the same things that they were able to do in their own ecosystem. So, we have to talk about that. The advantages of open source systems, advantages of open usage is far more better than regulated systems. And that is the only way that humans overall will be able to go towards a positive outcome. I'm very optimistic that humans as an average will improve, the life will improve overall with help of AI.
Okay, wonderful. I'm sure this will also be a subject which will be hotly debated where the AI Impact Summit is concerned, and I wish you all the success and the summit too. Thank you so much for joining us and talking about it, Dr. Aratu Sharma of Shodh AI. So that's a wrap as far as this conversation is concerned, but a lot of exciting things happening in India related to AI, not just the summit, but a lot more that is yet to be explored, and we'll keep looking at that as well here on DD India. Thanks for watching.